Hey everybody, I want to wish you a beautiful and happy Thanksgiving. I'm not able to join you today live as I usually do on Wednesday because I am with my family, but I did want to give you a gift. And so here you can listen to a beautiful transmission that took place in the Sacred Holy Womb Light Code. And it's where you connect with your grandmothers and the great grandmothers, all the way back to the seed grandmother, to the point of the origin of your essence in your soul. And it's a very powerful transmission. And I encourage you to listen to it perhaps with a blindfold on, turn everything off, or listen to it before you go to sleep at night in a very sacred place and quiet and receive the transmission. And it will open your heart and begin to prepare you for the divine feminine code that we all start together on the full moon on December 4th. So I love you and I wish you the most beautiful holiday. Sending love. Talk soon. Mwah. Oh, oh, hello, hello. We are delighted as always to be here and to attune to you in this now moment, inviting you to close your eyes and placing one hand on your heart and one on your womb center, feeling your breath moving in and out. Your eyes are becoming heavier and heavier as your shoulders are dropping and you are falling deeply into the space of where it is that you are. Your jaw is relaxing and you are choosing to let go, going through a process and aligning with your lineage, the wisdom of the great grandmothers, back in time to the essence and the kernel, the spark, the star inside of Newt, in the cosmic mother, as it has descended and that spark has come alive. And that spark lives and dwells inside of you. As you are letting go more and more, we are tuning now to a higher octave, higher frequencies and beings of light. As many ancient beings are coming in and arriving at this time, and all of the ancestors are coming in now. Begin to feel your ancestors arriving. Perhaps your mother has passed, or your grandmother, or father, or other grandmother, grandfather. Feeling the energies of aunts, or uncles, or siblings, or even children. Beings coming in right now, ancestors arriving from your lineage, connecting into them and their frequencies. Oh, oh, we are very delighted at this moment to be here with all of you as you are tuning to the great mothers. For they have been calling you, just as you have been called by your earthly mother here to earth, residing and falling into the womb of the earth and into the womb of your mother. Your grandmothers are calling you, for there are ancient and old grandmothers. These are the ones of the wisdom keepers. These are the ones of the deep remembering. And they have been praying and singing songs of prayers for thousands and thousands of years for you. They are coming online and awakening as their prayers now are being heard by you. You are feeling a presence of their energy as if they are calling you home. They have been calling and echoing out to you and singing their songs as they have been chanting and drumming around the fire and sacred space for so long. thousands and thousands of years preparing and awaiting for this now moment. These sacred ancient grandmothers carry codes of magic and deep understanding and wisdom and knowledge and memories. They are the keepers of all that is, and they have been carrying and singing to you for so long, and yet the pathways to your heart have been blocked by your stories and your drama and your trauma and your wounds and the collective consciousness of the programming that has fallen over you, creating webs and webs and webs of illusion after illusion, in which you have not been able to find your way to the center of their heart, in the hearth of the place in which they sit around together, weaving the web of life and singing the songs and doing the prayers and the sounds and the chanting, calling you to their womb. And you are being called now at this time back through the red thread of their blood and the bloodline that rushes through your veins and is pumped by the beating of your heart. And this blood carries you through time, through grandmother and mother and grandmother and mother, over and over and over again, until you begin to arrive at the great grandmothers. Your mother now is coming in energetically, whether she is alive or she has passed into another dimension or realm, and you begin to feel her presence as she comes and stands before you. And as she is standing before you, you feel her energy, and her heart is pulsating as you have opened a pathway of forgiveness and presence toward her frequency, and a deep understanding of her vibration, and the fact that you and her are merged together, for you chose her and she chose you. And as you feel her energy and her presence and her sweetness and her light and her love, as she stands before her, her belly is full and pregnant, as if she is carrying something, oh, so magnificent, so beautiful, so precious. And you are outside of her, looking in at her from a view of a deeper understanding. And you begin to place your hands on her pregnant belly, and you feel the pulsation of a beating heart. And the baby inside begins to kick and move as his elbow comes up around the womb, and you feel the pulsation and the stirring of the movement of the baby inside. And your hands are on the womb of your own mother, and an opening like a portal of her womb space, an eye opens, and a vortex begins to suck like a magnetic field, pulling you inside. And as you move in, you recognize that you are inside of her, that it was you in there all along. And as you are inside, you realize and feel the pulsation and the rushing of her blood, and you hear the beating of her heart, and the blood is moving all around you, and it begins to open like a vessel and a portal, and it begins to carry you through a spiraled space as you wrap yourself and begin to spiral, moving through a tunnel. But you are not moving through the birth canal, but a tunnel almost backwards, as if you are moving through time in space in a way you have never moved before. And as you do this, you find yourself inside another womb, and this is the womb of your grandmother. And you feel her presence of your grandmother, her frequency, her light, her love, her tenderness, her presence of who she is. Perhaps she is wounded and has a story. Perhaps she is not easy to be with, or she is loving and nurturing, but you sense the core of her essence. You move beyond the story into the lineage of her vibration, and you feel this presence. And as you're inside it, the blood begins to move and push more and more and more, and the pulsing flowing of the blood is all around you, and a vortex opens again. And as it opens, it's like a dark tunnel, and you begin to pass through it, almost as if you are going through a tube inside blood itself. And the red blood is all around you, and it is carrying you, and you are moving quickly through time and space. And then you are landing inside the womb of your great grandmother, and you begin to feel and sense her presence and where it is that she is, and the surroundings around her, and the vibration of her frequency. And you feel into the presence of this bloodline and this energy and her womb. And you know that you have been carried through time and space, through the ancestors and the lineage of this frequency, as she has carried codes that have been passed down to your great grandmother, to your mother, and to you. And you honor her presence, and she begins to show you a doorway, and it opens again, and you move through the vessel of her blood, and it carries you moving rapidly, faster and faster, as you're entering into your great great grandmother. And you feel her energy. You may not know her vibration or her name or her presence or the dwelling in which she is in, but you begin to feel a sense of where she is, or the hardships that she is carrying, and her connection to the world and the realm around her, perhaps the elements and the space and the daily experiences of the life in which she is opening and feeling. And the codes of these memories are encoded inside your bloodline, and you thank her for her experiences, and she gladly opens another doorway for you, and you feel the rushing pulsation of the blood as you move with it, and it spirals you further and further, and you enter into another womb space. This womb space is wider and grander, and this is an energy where healing has fully occurred, for this ancestor has been gone a while and has moved through the realms of time and space and created a whole and healed energetic field. And you feel the presence of this womb, and you thank them for all the work that they have done in all the planets and places they have visited, and the star beings they have talked to, and the beings and the ancestors who have loved them, and the ascended masters who've walked by their side as they have cleansed and cleared and healed the essence of their being for your lineage. And as you're inside this space, another door opens, and now the womb is even bigger and larger, and it feels more cavernous. And you feel that you are somewhere in the darkness of a space and emptiness, as if the stories are starting to disappear, and the wounds and the trauma have dissolved into an emptiness. And you are here in this emptiness, in the greatness of many generations back of your great grandmothers, and you are carried inside the seed and the womb of their emptiness and their space, and they begin to gather and open a doorway again. Passing through this doorway, you notice a red thread. This is a thread of your bloodline, and you begin to follow it as if you were spiraling around it and through it, and you are moving with the blood and the red thread, and it is carrying you. And now things are moving more rapidly, and you begin to follow the thread. And as you follow the thread, you are inside a cavernous space, a cave inside the earth. And you are here in this cave, and you begin to notice a light that is flickering in the distance. And you move toward the flickering of the light as it begins to grow and become stronger and warmer, and you feel the heat coming over it and off of it. And you notice there are ancient women sitting in a circle. These are the ancient grandmothers of your lineage, carrying the codes and the frequencies that have brought you through the genetic coding of your DNA to form who it is that you are in this moment. And yet they are the ones that pray. They are the ones that dream creation into form. They are the ones that chant the songs into the long hours of the night, and the ones that stir the water in the cauldron and the herbs and the essence. They know the magic, and they carry the pouches and the bottles filled with the alchemy. They are the original grandmothers, and they are in your lineage, and you have found them. Notice where it is that you are as they are surrounding you. They begin to stand up and dance all around you, and you feel their presence, for your form is there, and you begin to look deep into the eyes of their energy, and you see the ancient wisdom as the wrinkles form around their forehead and their eyes and their nose and their mouths, and their hair is gray and wild and long, and their bodies and their breasts are hanging low, and you feel an energy moving in them, for they are wild and free, and they're filled with energy and wisdom and knowledge, and they begin to dance around you, and smoke begins to rise within the cavernous space as incense is pouring in, and they are clearing your energetic field. And as they are dancing all around you, you begin to smell the essence of the space in which you are in, and you hear the crackling of the fire and the drumming and the beating and the dancing, and your feet are bare on the cavernous space in the earth, and you feel the ancient teachings and rememberings and the wisdom of these great grandmothers. And some are sitting with their hair braided, and some are tall and thin, and some are short and wide and fat, but they are all beautiful, and you love them, and you see the purity of their beauty and the nakedness of their form and the rawness of their authenticity and the purity of who they are, for they carry no masks or no ideas of who they should be or who they were meant to be, for they are raw in the essence of the truth, for they are the artists and the poets and the musicians and the wisdom keepers. They are the healers and the shamans and the oracle and the visionary ones. They carry the medicine and the rememberings of the old ways, and they are coming in now, and they are returning, for your earth is moving through a great transition, and you hear their call, for they are calling you home, for you will need their wisdom. You will need to remember what is inside their medicine pouch. You will need to know and understand their alchemy and how they work with the elements and change the weather. You will need to remember the ways of the oracle as they will open the visions and create dimensions. You will need to know the energy and the eyes that carry on their womb as they give birth to new worlds and realms as they weave creation into form. You will know the magic and the ways of their manifestation, as when their bellies are hungry, food simply appears. You will know how they work with the elements and the water and the fire and the air and the ether, and you will feel the drumming and the beating inside of them, for they are connected to the cosmic stars and the star beings as they communicate along the lines in the stars and the lines in the earth and the ley lines and the telluric fields and the frequencies of the magnetic vibration of the Great Mother. They commune and they speak with the Mother as they hear her voice strongly, and the animals come to them as they whisper and call them in. The snakes slither around them, and they mind them not, for they know they are the life force of the energy that dwells inside. They carry the sight and the vision of the great tail of the hawk itself as they can hover over and begin to appear and disappear in worlds and realms, for they are the great grandmothers. Feeling their energy all around you as they dance and the codes move into your blood, and the thread now begins to carry itself through your blood, through your DNA, and you feel it pulsing, moving into your heart as your heart begins to pump the wisdom and the rememberings and the knowledge of the keepers of their frequencies, of the times in which you moved through the trees like a monkey and you wore your feet were bare, and it was the time in which the animals came and appeared and whispered knowledge of rememberings and taught you of the herbs and the plants. It is the great ancient ones, and they are here dreaming worlds of rememberings as they look to the stars in the sky. And as you feel the ancient codes of these beings and they swirl and dance all around you, they begin to settle. And as they settle, you sit amongst them with the fire. And as you do say, they tell to you, my dear child, we take you to the original mother now, for she has some gift for you, a blessing, a remembering of who you are. And you rise up in such gratitude to have been in the presence of this bloodline of the ancient grandmothers. And as you do so, you turn and they begin to open another door. And you think, what other door could I possibly pass through? For where could I go other than here with these ancient, beautiful ones that I know of my bloodline and my lineage that have called me home? And as the door is open, you see a woman with long, curly hair that is white, and you look to her back, for she is naked, and she is in a position that she is squatting in a cavernous space, deeply connected to the earth. She is the crone, and she is calling you home. You feel her energy, her vibration, her strength, her beauty, for she is the one who has built the stone circles. She is the one who has talked to the star beings. She is the one that gives birth to the primordial waters and have walked the lands of ancient times of Lemuria and all of the cycles and the beings of light, for she is the great mother of all. And you feel the essence of her vibration and the ancient wisdom within her, almost wondering how could you be so lucky to be in the presence of this ancient wisdom. She calls to you. There's no word spoken, but a feeling to know, to walk around to the front of where she is, and you sit in front of her, eye to eye, gazing, and the ancient wisdom looks into your heart. She looks behind all of the masks and all of the stories and all of the trauma of all of your lineages. And she says to you, my dear child, may you put down your mask. May you put down anything that keeps you from the essence, the pearl of your authentic self. May you remember who you are, for I am your great, 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 great grandmother, beyond numbers and names that cannot be counted or known. But I carry the bloodline of who it is that you are in the lineage of remembering, and I give back to you the knowing, for my sacred holy womb is just that. It is sacred. It is holy, and my womb has held you, for I have held you within my womb this whole time, through all that you have felt and experienced, for I have sat here in this position, squatting and giving birth through the prayer of my song, that you may return to me, and that I may remind you of your wholeness, of your purity, that your sacred holy womb now shall be purified, that you may feel the presence and the power of your womb. May you place your hand upon your womb now and remember, this space is your sacred seed. It is your power point of creation, for all things are magnetized here and created, for nothing can be birthed without it, for it is the Holy Grail. And it has always been inside of you this whole time, waiting for you to hear my prayer, my memory, my calling. May you place your hand upon it, for in this lifetime you may have used this grail to give birth, or you may be in a male body, or you may have chosen for it to be vacant, but you have given birth to something. It may be a mission, it may be something in which you have done, it may be the sound of your voice and the love in your heart, but this is where all creation comes from, for you are the great one. And whether your body is androgynous or male or female, you carry the seed of my awakening. You carry the frequency of my womb, for you hold this womb within you, for this is your sacred, holy space of creation. And in this now moment, I ask you, as the greatest, greatest, oldest, oldest, most ancient mother within your lineage, to reclaim your sacred, holy womb. Now I reclaim, you repeat after me, I reclaim my sacred holy womb. I reclaim the ancient teachings and the wisdom of the great grandmothers. I reclaim the understanding of the great medicine. I reclaim the remembering of the alchemy. I reclaim the energy and the knowing of the elements. I reclaim my communication with the animals and the crystals and the plants. I reclaim my attunement in my rooted body into the cauldron of the open space of the deepness inside the earth. I reclaim my heritage and I heal all of my wounds for all of the generations and all of the illusions of separation that have been created from where it was that I am to now where it is that you are. May we pass now the energy through the lineage to where you are. And as you do this, she stands from her squatting position, one in which she has been in for so long. And as she stands up, you feel the fullness and presence of her energy, honored and humbled to be in her great presence. She comes to you and she places both hands on your womb as if somehow you are pregnant with creation itself, with the creation of everything that has been created through your lineage to where it has stopped, where you are now. And as she places her hands on your womb, she sends a fiery light of love that moves through you, and it opens a tunnel inside your womb, and a doorway opens, and the light of her love that is so present, so beautiful, begins to pass through your womb, and it passes now into the womb of your mother. And she feels a healing moving through her whole body within her womb, as if her whole womb is lit by your love that comes from the great oldest grandmother of the essence of your lineage. And you feel this love as you send it to your mother, and she is filled and radiant and healed, and a purification of her sacred holy womb takes place. And she turns around and she takes this love, this light, this purity, this wisdom, this joy, this ancient teaching and remembering, and she puts her hands on the womb of your grandmother, and the energy pulsates through and purifies her sacred holy womb, and she feels a rush of love moving through her womb space. And the prayers from the great grandmothers have been finally heard. And she turns around and an opening happens and she places her hands on her mother. And her womb is purified and healed and cleared and loved. And you feel a pulsation like the red thread is clearing and cleaning, and the blood is pulsating with purity, and it is moving with oxygen and freedom, and it is illuminating and healing and purifying the sacred holy womb as she places her hands upon your grandmother, of your great grandmother and your great grandmother, and the doorways open one after another, gateway after gateway after gateway, 7 to 8 generations. And once it hits through the seventh and the eighth generation, it opens up into all of the great grandmothers around the fire. And they sit there remembering, and you hear the crackling of the fire and the sparking of its frequency and the light that it is emanating. And you remember the ancient ways and the teachings, and the healing has occurred. And it is because of you. It is because you heard the calling. It is because you were willing to let go of the stories. It's because you were willing to release the wounds and the trauma and the aches and the grief and the pain in your own womb, and to hear the call of the great mother and the grandmothers and all of their prayers that they have been praying and chanting and dancing and working and healing and sending love, that you may return to them to heal the ancestral lineage of the bloodline of all of the energies of all of the wombs of creation within your lineage back to the original mother. And there you are, in so much gratitude for this blessing. And you begin to feel the flooding of the symbols, the teachings, the wisdom, the animals, the ones that represent your lineage, that represent the understanding that you are to carry now forward. And you are filling up with joy in your body, knowing that your sacred holy womb and the ancestors of all the wombs before you are purified into the wholeness of who they are. And in feeling this presence and this love, you look to the fire, and the fire is blazing, and you feel its warmth. And inside the fire is a star. And the star rises like something flickering out of the fire, and it comes to you. And you bring it inside your womb, and it begins to burn this beautiful dust of fire, this star. And it begins to encompass the great cosmic mother, the mother of Newt, and she absorbs you into her wholeness, back into the cosmic womb, the place in which you came from, the star and the emptiness, in the pregnant void of nothingness, of creation. And as that star, you look down now upon your lineage, and you see the blood flowing through your ancestors and the red thread that carries and tethers you to the cosmic womb. That same red thread that tethers you to the wombs of all the mothers and grandmothers of the lineage of your great purified womb. And the same thread that tethers you to the great grandmother, the womb of creation itself inside the Mother Earth, in her cauldron with the fire burning. And now the fire of the Great Mother, and the fire of the star of the Cosmic Mother, and the fire within your own womb merge as one. And you are inside one large, vast womb, purified, sacred, holy. For you have now healed through your presence, through your willingness to let go of your stories, of your traumas and your wounds and your grief, to awaken to the memories of who you really are, to know the ancient wisdom and the prayers that have been prayed for you for thousands of years to come home to them are now been awakened inside. For you can never return to the way in which you were before this now moment. For something has shifted. Something has been remembered. Some wisdom is now awake in you. And it will be carried now to the daughters and the granddaughters within your lineage. And they now will hear the call, the great grandmothers, and remember who they really are. Memories flooding in of this ancient wisdom. You may be aware of the symbols, the surroundings, the body of water or the mountains or the desert, the enchanted forest, the caves, the snow-capped mountains. Wherever you have landed, wherever she is, she remains there now, forever, eternally carrying the fire within her heart and her womb for you, in deep reverence and prayer, in the position as she remains squatted. And the door closes to where she is in that space, singing the songs for you. May you honor her and return to her whenever you need to remember, because she has always been there waiting for you. She is the essence of your lineage. She is the great grandmother. And so it is. And with that, I'm inviting you to feel into the power of what you have just received. And you may begin to declare, I reclaim my sacred holy womb, my womb of creation, and all of the ancient wisdom and gifts that are there. I remember, and I carry and teach them to all of those around me and all generations to come. As I honor the great grandmother. Now bring your hands to your heart in the position of prayer. In deep gratitude, may you thank the grandmothers, the ancient ones, star beings, and the beings of light for this transmission, this healing. And may you honor and thank yourself for showing up and doing this profound work. As we prepare in the coming months and years for a great transition on the planet, that we are the wisdom keepers, remembering our own divinity. May we carry this red thread with us. In the vibration of love.